I can get fucking if you buy 5 grams, you can get that for fucking 45, and if you buy 7 grams, you can get that for blah blah. So people usually go in and do the mix and match thing. I'll have 2 of those and 1 of those. You know what I mean? So fucking
So
and then
are
have.
okay. Go
Go ahead.
ahead. And
I was gonna say they.
I want you to look and see if we're live, but while you're talking, go ahead. The mix and match.
Well, I can't do both. Hold on, I'm packing
I'm
the ball
sorry.
too. Yeah, they mix and match what you want, and they
Mm-hmm.
have Mega Wellness right now. They're saying they have Mega Wellness M2, and the way they're wording they may even have Payaso Grow. Like, in other words, it's exactly like that place that I took you to. That was like 3 years ago when you came out, and we went to that little hole in the wall place that I told you reminded me of sitting in the waiting room for Orange County Jail. Like we're about to get out of. It feels like we're about to
Oh
get
yeah, I
out of
remember that
jail. Their
place.
waiting
Yeah,
room sucked. Their waiting room was dismal, and the TV didn't work.
yeah. There wasn't a
And
whole
we
lot of
finally got.
decorating going on. It wasn't a high end kind of place. No, you're right.
Yeah. It was definitely the lowest of low ends. But when you went back there, it was like great butt, and you could and it was in jars. You could pick it out. That was pre-COVID though.
Marginally better than pulling up in your car and saying, "How much dime bag? Dime bag?"
Yeah. Slap it on your window and show it to you.
Dime bag, dime bag.
All right, let's see if we're live yet. So I can get one of the people that's on here. I can actually get, if I had to, I guess I could actually call him and ask him for permission to put him on. But my nephew's on my playlist.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
that would be a whole thing. You'd have to
set
submit.
reminder.
You'd have to submit proof of
Yeah, I know.
and all that, and that would be
And whoever owns
that would be a whole thing.
whoever's backing him, it's the Dirty Heads. We'd have to get permission from them. They're like his part of his gang. It's like a musical gang that you get into. You have to know everybody and party with everybody. It's always been that way though. With every genre that I've ever known, you have to hang out with them and party with them. They have to like you, and once they like you, then you can hang out. I was like this close to joining a couple of bands because I was in a little family of people hanging out playing guitar on Saturday nights, but it's like the person that I wanted to spend all my time with and play with was already on his way into. He was friends with Zach from fucking Rage Against the Machine. They grew up playing together, so he was already on his way to another band. And it's like, I really wanted. There was a couple bands so they actually did one of my songs called Flat Dog. I had a picture of a dog that had been run over in the road in Mexico so many times and just left there and ran over. It was just perfectly flat, like a piece of paper. And I wrote the song Flat Dog, and I thought it was hilarious. And we recorded it with bongos and fucking 2 guitars, and
We're
yeah, it
cool.
actually sounded really good. Blue Moon still has the recording of it somewhere. That's a Blue Moon song now.
Maybe you can find it on SoundCloud.
I don't think they would have my version on SoundCloud because I sang that. I sang it, and then they took the song and then they did it. Plus, Pink Lemonade is another song I wrote the riffs to. I just helped the guy who was the lead singer. He goes, "I need a riff. Glenn, you're a riff master. Do something." And I'm like, "How about this?" And he goes right back into the. He's like, "Yeah, that's perfect. That's what I need." All right. So collaboration with musical groups so that they can. You have to be with them for a long time before they'll fucking let you in the band. Until they need you, you know what I mean? Until their guitar player gets whacked out or can't make it, or his girlfriend leaves him and he goes on a bender, and they're like, "We need a guitar player now." That's why you do that, though. That's why you hang out with bands.
Glenn's riffing over here, guys.
I don't get it. It looks like we're live, but I don't see anything.
Because it probably won't go live until 15, whatever, 10:15, right?
It'll start playing at 10:15.
Yeah. I think. Like, if you click on it, is it just the Beavis and Butthead face?
Yes.
Okay, so.
And this is live, and it says we've been live for 5:56. We've been 8:03 on the on Skype.
This was an experiment. I didn't know that you would be ready. I could go back and change the time to 10:10, but
No,
let's just
all
keep it
right.
at 10:15. We'll chill for
Dude,
another
it's-
six minutes.
Yeah, no big deal. But it's not like we ain't got shit to talk about or do. And then we can always, while we're
Talk about too much stuff.
Well, I mean,
before we get on the. So it's nice to have shit to talk about.
well, cannabis news, marijuana moments.
Yeah, we could line that shit up. There's another one. There's another network a news thing called the Good News Network. Try that one, the Good News Network, and it's only got good news.
Okay, good.
So yeah, it's kind of a cool thing.
So news guys should come out. A bunch of crappy shit happened today. You don't really need to know about it. All you have to know
here's the good news.
The government's corrupt, and
I got some bad news and I got some good news.
Oh,
which one do you want?
Yeah. All you have to know is shit didn't add up today, so we're gonna go right on to the good news. And pictures of puppies and kittens. Good news is part of the Good News Network. USA, you can actually select where you want your good news from. Nice. I don't know if this has anything to do with cannabis, but there's some cool news on it.
Hey Siri, tell Jennifer we're going live at 10:15.
Your message to Jennifer Anthony says we're going live at 10:15. Ready to send?
Yes.
Okay.
That's funny. If you say live to Siri, she says live. Going live. We're going live.
Yeah, GPS does that. When you're doing deliveries with a GPS telling you where to go, it constantly mispronounces the names.
Don't worry about it.
You're on Margarita Avenue.
I'm
on Margarita. You're on Margarita Avenue.
Don't be too eager to have them learn how to speak everything. Learn. Don't have them too eager. Don't be too eager for them to learn.
They're on their way already.
That's the problem right there, is that they are on their way.
Good News Network.
4/11.
Hey, our marijuana moment. Let's see. The Veterans Day. Oh, here we go. Oh, my goodness.
I had so much...
Oh, I hate these... Okay, now we have a talking point.
Okay, yeah.
Damn. Well, I guess it should be expected, but I tried to warn people about this, and this is what happened for it. And all I wanted was utopia, and utopia consists of a place where marijuana is legal, but all the other drugs are not. Just because...
Oh, we're going to talk about this on the thing in 3 minutes?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
3 minutes.
Get up here. Relax.
I have so much work to do at home. We're having Thanksgiving here, and I've got to fucking have this place where, people can walk in a room and not go, what the fuck, man? Somebody needs to clean.
Yeah. I hear you.
I want him to walk in the room and go, yeah, looks like he's got his shit fucking clean.
In a messed up pad, right? Oh, and I don't know if we don't need to discuss this on the podcast, but someone befriended me last night and offered me, DMT, mushrooms, and jelly tabs. And the jelly tabs actually look really good. Remember the old prisms? The old pyramids?
Yeah.
Little jelly pyramids? And he had them in, different colors, including rainbow colors. And I was like, ooh. And then I asked him, he said $250 a sheet for 300 UG. And
wow.
I think $350 for 400 UGs. So, one hit, 400 fucking mics. Like, Jesus, man, and one hit 350 mics? I'll have to talk to Sean about that. That doesn't make sense. UGs of, I don't know what that guy means by UGs. I know what micrograms are, but that's not an ultragram.
Well, that's what UG is. That stands for micro.
Okay.
The U. So, it's like a 1,000th, I think, of a gram.
Yeah, I know, but a single hit, a gel tab of 350 or 300 or 400 for jelly. I'm like, Jeebus, that's a little, too strong for microdosing, dude. I mean, a piece of paper is like 200 or 175.
Let's see what we got going on here.
All right, I'm just trying to get I have a whole lot of crummy little crumbs now at the bottom of this jar, and I want those to go next.
Well, it's about to turn 10:15, so keep an eye on YouTube and let me know if we do go live. If you can click on it. Wait, it's not yet.
Waiting for you.
Yep.
It's
One
waiting.
1 minute.
1 minute. Yeah, waiting.
Look at your clock on the computer. Should give you an accurate time.
Yeah, it's 8:14.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. 1 minute.
Cool.
1 minute and counting.
So before I go complaining about every drug being, I got to make sure I'm
All right, now it should be good to go.
Okay. Well,
I think. I mean, I can't tell. You gotta look on your end.
Well, it just says waiting for unknown chronic still, but let me see if I refresh. Waiting for the unknown chronic still, and it still has the Island Boys up there.
Let's see.
Oh my God! What the fuck? I sure hope that was empty. Oh, it doesn't matter now. Wherever it went. Still says waiting, but do you have to like tell them yes, I'm ready to go, or?
I don't know. Let me look.
It could just be me because sometimes. Yeah, we're live. It says now. Yeah, we're live.
Can you see us?
Yeah, I can see us now. We're live. So, as we were just about to say, welcome to everybody to Unknown Chronic and Gumby Glen. And we have a few talking points this morning, and I am going to start off by busting out some of my cashmere kush here from Maven. Getting myself a little something.
Guess what just popped up on my screen again?
What's that? Oh.
That virus. I have a virus called Norton.
Virus you paid for from Norton?
They're very ballsy admitting that their name, telling me that they're called Norton.
Yeah,
isn't that the same company that's supposed to protect you against viruses?
I think so.
Is that the antiviral software?
Are they giving you a ransom, though? Are they telling you if you pay this much?
That antivirus software gave me a virus.
Well, they probably just want money, to let you go.
Is that ransom software?
Yeah, it's ransom.
Oh, man.
They probably just want money to let you go.
It's totally legal, too.
Man, that's so terrible. What's the world coming to? Oh, yeah. So we have a few talking points this morning.
Talking points.
Talking points, man. I'm telling you. Well, something that's definitely I'm tripping on is, the DEA moves to schedule cocaine-derived drug while marijuana lingers in the Schedule 1.
Okay, well, what do they want to reschedule cocaine to? Because it's already a Schedule 2, right?
It's cocaine-derived, though. It says cocaine-derived.
Which cocaine-derived drug?
That's what I'm getting to here on the spectrum. So, the Drug Enforcement Agency is moving to deschedule a controlled substance that is derived from cocaine after receiving a petition for the policy change. Brandy from fucking South Park got him to get the Christmas snow. It's the kind of action that drug policy reform advocates have hoped to see from the agency for Schedule 1 drugs like marijuana and psilocybin. But for now, the DEA is posing to remove the cocaine derivative from Schedule 2 and fully remove criminal and civil penalties associated with the compound. It's noticed... Really? Okay.
I don't know what the compound is, though, yet.
That's what we're getting to.
It's a derivative.
It's a derivative of it. Do they mean crack?
Maybe Coca-Cola is going to go back to the original formula. That'd be some shit right there.
In notice published Federal Register last week, the agency noted that the drug is called FP-CIT 18F FP-CIT is employed as a diagnostic substance that is used to assist the elevation of adult patients with suspected Parkinson's syndrome and is used in visualization of striatal dopamine transports.
I like
or
it.
DATs, using position emission. Yeah, so cocaine...
Position emission.
I'm sorry. That was mine.
That was the best like position mission.
Positron emission tomography, or PET.
He just came out with the best porn title ever.
Position emission. That's the name of my new metal band.
Oh, shit.
Position emission. Dopamine transports, or DATs, using positron emission tomography, or PET imaging. The descheduling petition. So yeah, I've read where that's the problem with cocaine itself. When in the user is it forces you to put out the dopamine, and then it blocks it from coming back in.
Yeah, it blocks
it
the
charged back up. Yeah, and you get real depressed. But apparently they want a derivative of it so that they can just use that on people that already have that problem and get it to release the dopamine that they have pent up in there, I guess. But yeah, because that'll help people. Because marijuana isn't helping people at all, except for that whole cancer thing. Fuck, dude, they piss me off so much. But, it is what it is. Like we've said before, money. That coke money is making it happen, man.
I mean, there's plenty of people out there that smoke their fair share of weed and still get cancer. So I don't think, smoking weed is the key to not getting cancer. But
no, but it's been used in cancer reform and
Yeah. I mean, the RSO.
Not throwing up.
I do believe the RSO, I did watch DOA, this guy on DOA Grows Meds on Instagram. We were friends for a while before he died. But we talked on the phone a few times. It was really weird. The guy wanted to call me and chat, and
that's cool.
And I was like, okay, yeah. And he was friends with Subcool and this dude Seattle, Steve out in Seattle, and all the Subcool whatever weed nerds. And I don't know, he's a cool dude, but yeah, he died of melanoma.
Yeah. Skin cancer, huh?
Yeah, he had skin cancer.
He could not get the
and it must have
dry up.
It must have metastasized or some shit, moved to other parts of his body.
Yeah. Well, that's the problem with melanoma, is it can instantly move to your lymph nodes, I guess. It can circulate to your lymph nodes faster than something else. Metastazations really suck when it's like colon cancer and it metastasizes to your spine or to your lungs.
Uh-huh. Yeah, he was like, yeah, I'm not going to be alive long enough to grow out all the seeds I have, so I'll send you some genetics. And I'm like, that'd be cool or whatever. It never came to pass, but it would have been cool because I'm not too sure. I know that Will is picking up where Subcool left off and trying to continue the Dank brand. I think TGA is owned by Miss Jill, but Subcool's The Dank is owned by Will. And Will and him were, I guess they were business partners before he died. But I don't know how true the genetics are that he's got. You know what I mean? I suppose they're probably real. He was, connected with him and everybody who bred for him, but we'll see, I guess. The proof's in the pudding, as they say.
This, Big Farm seeing what cocaine does to people. I can't see them not being greedily pushing this into the DEA. We got a drug that'll help people, and they just won't want to stop taking it.
Well, I mean...
Dude. Well, I'm just saying, how addictive is this new drug to these people? It's going to help them, but how addictive is it? And is it something that's going to help them for a moment, and then, like cocaine, it's going to drop them off on fucking depression street?
Honestly, if it interrupts the Alzheimer's disease, I don't really care how addictive it is. We'll deal with that later. Because,
right? That's how most people feel, right?
Yeah, if they're just not there, then, what's the point? If they're addicted to a drug that puts them inside their own body, I don't know. I guess you'd have to know what the long-term effects of it are, but one might say that the good outweighs the bad in that situation. I remember the last couple times, the last time I visited Uncle Bob.
The benefits outweigh the risk, but...
Uncle Bob kept talking about he was at the Bikini Islands, I think they're called the Bikinis, during Korean War, and they were testing hydrogen bombs and stuff, and I guess they were doing a lot of testing right off of the island that not too far from the island that he was close enough to where he could see the mushroom cloud.
Right.
And so he described this situation to me and Jennifer, God, like 4 or 5 times, and I just kept acting like it was the first time he said it and being like, wow, that's amazing, or or whatever, and realizing at the same time that Uncle Bob had kind of a problem because Sharon hadn't been straightforward. I mean, I guess she'd said that he's had some memory issues or whatever, but he's doing pretty good. But then I got to experience him and I was like, whoa, this is a little more than a memory issue.
Hi, how are you? Again, like every fucking 20 minutes, yeah.
Well, and it wasn't exactly that, but it was, the story of when he was in Korea, he saw a mushroom cloud, and it was, the damnedest thing you ever saw.
So he was at the Bikini Atolls?
I guess, I don't know, wherever they were testing hydrogen bombs during the Korean War.
Yeah, they made a bunch of guys literally stand out, get out onto the decks of the ships where they would be exposed to all the fucking radiation, and told them, don't look at it, it'll blind you, fucking, and turn away from it. And he said that it was the most horrific thing he'd ever heard or felt and seen in his life. This one guy describing it. Well, I held my hand over my ears and I kept my eyes closed shut, but it roared. The power of that thing roared and made the ship go up and down like you wouldn't believe it.
Well, apparently he was far enough away to where he could actually observe it and not get dead.
Right. Yeah.
And
these guys didn't die. These guys didn't die.
Right.
They were far enough away from it, but they were still they were still on a ship out at sea, right where it was.
I'm sure he probably felt, if you could see it, you'd probably feel the shockwave.
Yeah, they put them just out. There was a reason why they put them just outside of what they were told was the safe zone. They wanted to make sure, and they fucking put men on ships and put them out there in the safe zone.
You know what
still took some fucking radiation.
You know what an A-10 is? The aircraft?
Yeah.
It's like a heavy artillery. It's so fucking bitchin', dude. That's just it's got these fucking guns that just spit fucking lead. And you can see the flash on the ground before you actually hear the turret, before you hear it. Because it just sounds like... Sounds like a motor. No, it's so much faster than that. It sounds like somebody's ripping a bad fart.
Yeah, so my new friend that I made last night was showing off some amazing pictures. Something that was like that big around on the stock. And the cap was like that big around. He had a pen, like one of those permanent marker ink pens, putting it next to it to show you. New friend of mine. Apparently in Michigan, it's completely legal for all psychedelics. And that's where he's at. And he's like, and so he can get it, everything from DMT. I guess ecstasy is still a schedule.
Yeah, well, yeah.
They're moving on.
Yeah, I don't know how legal it, maybe it's legal there, but I'm not too sure that this format's cool with all that. I don't know, maybe.
They should be. There's people that...
Yeah, you talk about it. I mean, but
we have
we're definitely not trying to promote any kind of trade or anything like that.
Yeah, no. That's I wasn't trying to promote anything. I was just saying that we've come a long way in psychedelics, man. You can grow one mushroom that weighs almost a half an ounce, dry weight, almost half of an ounce, like fucking gigantic. They'll weigh them wet and show you that they weigh 70 grams.
Well,
try it out and show you it weighs 33 grams.
A lot of the ones that we were taking, I'd say all of the ones that we were taking were naturally occurring, collected by people in fields and shit. Not grown nowadays. Yeah, everybody grows in shoeboxes or whatever.
Well,
I don't know.
But one time I did have something that it was back during. Jack Lipson had me sneak in with him to Tom Petty. I just wanted to learn how to sneak into any concert. And I'm like, well, we'll go to Tom Petty and I'll learn how to sneak in.
Oh, who did
And
they
that way-
play with? They played
that
with
way-
ZZ Top, right?
No, ZZ Top and Quiet Riot played together.
I thought it was
And I
Tom
stuck with
Petty
that
and
one,
ZZ
too.
Top. Who played with Tom Petty? I thought it was
I
ZZ Top.
I forgot who it was.
I'm pretty
we
sure
didn't
it
get in.
was ZZ
We didn't
Top.
get in until just before Petty came on. But we learned how to sneak into Irvine Meadows for future concerts. Is what I wanted. I wanted to learn how to command to that place so I could get, because I was a poor kid and I knew I'm never going to get money to buy these fucking concert tickets. I need to learn how to sneak in now. I need to get me an in so I don't have to spend $25 because I wanted to see everybody. You know, I was really addicted like everybody was to
ZZ
heavy
Top
metal,
and Tom
rock,
Petty,
loved it.
Irvine Meadows.
Well, so we meet this guy, and he sold me a bag of these teeny tiny little stringy little mushrooms, and his buddy was going, he grew those himself, and he goes, and those are really hard to grow. If you know anything about mushrooms, those are really hard to grow. And I'm like, I didn't know what Tampanesis were at the time, and I didn't know what, I guess those were from India, but it's still a form of Tampanesis, which they're small. They'll grow small little mushrooms, but underneath the wherever it's growing out of, you can dig up a giant freaking sorcerer's stone sometime. Or philosopher's stone, not sorcerer's stone, philosopher's stone, which is a truffle, a magic truffle.
Well, it looks
And-
like ZZ Top and Tom Petty played together in 2010, but that was well
Yeah.
after what you're talking about.
We're talking 1983 or 4 was the first time I'd ever. And in, I remember eating these
They
things,
may have
and them
played
not working,
back then.
and me thinking this shit ain't working at all. And then like it seemed like it was hours later, but I guess it was only like an hour and a half later, but it seemed like forever.
Mhm.
And then I started coming onto it right when I went home. When I went home, I got screamed at for ditching school, told I had to go to Saturday school, and I went in my room and laid down and was hallucinating really hard. And it was like I lay down for a second, I thought, and then bam, 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 I'm getting knocked on the door, told, get up, you got to go to Saturday school. And I woke up and I was still hallucinating. I went to school tripping. It was-
That'll happen.
Yeah.
That'll
When you're
happen.
young, you can handle it, but
Actually, I'm pretty sure there was a lot of kids that would take acid and go to school. You know, like it was a thing. It was
Yeah,
just like
yeah.
a thing to do. You know, like let's go learn about some history and drop some
yeah,
acid,
this
bro.
This makes class so much more interesting.
Who's got the double cheese and sausage?
Over here, dude.
Did
Here's a little something for you, bro.
they still haven't picked up my leaves, man. I went out of my way to collect them all and put them in bags, and then they're just sitting out there it's been rained on for 2 days now. Like they're supposed to pick up on Thursday. I put it out Wednesday night. Of course, it rained Wednesday night, but here it is, Friday, freaking mid
In the
morning,
middle of the
late
street,
morning.
have the car up and go hit them.
Yeah, no. I need to put my patience pants on. Besides, I got a lot of other shit that I got to do. I got to like maybe take my mind off of shit that's not getting done and figure out what I can get done. Because I got the garage cleaned yesterday. That was the thing that I had to do, was get the patio furniture in, and because you don't want to leave it out in wintertime. Although I have been leaving the umbrella out, and you can kind of tell. And that's going to be hard to get rid of. I'm going to have to take that to the fucking dump. That's going to suck.
I hate going to the dump here, dude. They charge a fucking fortune. They're like, you can dump up to 2 tons of stuff. I go, can I leave and come back? No, you have to bring it all at once.
Yeah, but you get charged that minimum, yeah. Whatever
Yeah.
the minimum. And that's 4,000 pounds. See, that wouldn't be a minimum. Hey, your minimum would be like 500
You can
maybe,
bring
or
up to
200.
4,000 pounds. That's your maximum. You can bring
Yeah,
up to
yeah.
4,000 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But they
great.
weigh you on the way in and on the way out at the one that I go
They
to.
search you looking for TV sets and computers and stuff to throw there because that's extra too.
Well, yeah, it's like, I think it cost me like $9 or something like that to get rid of my plasma. And it was giant, so it really wasn't that big a deal. I mean, it's better to do it that way than to get busted. And, you know, it's also kind of shitty to just leave it in an alley somewhere. Like, it happens behind my house all the time because there's a homeless shelter, on the other side of my alley, and there's a lot of nobody lives there. Well, they do, but so people just dump their stuff in on the other side of the alley across from my garage, and
Stash it and come back and get it later.
no, they just dump it.
Oh.
You know, it's just like
Oh.
that's a convenient place to dump shit. You know, like just because nobody.
That's disgusting,
Yeah,
man.
that's
Oh, look, a
fucked
homeless
up.
place. Let's
Yeah.
go dump our stuff there.
But it doesn't. It just looks like an office building or an apartment building. It's not like it says, homeless shelter, on it.
I'm proud of fucking Orange County and LA right now. We're doing so good. It must be universal. You said something about Minnesota having no more homeless people on the right.
Well, I didn't say that. I said the Greater Minnesota has declared veteran homelessness a non-thing.
Right.
So that's pretty selective when you say Greater Minnesota and then veterans. That's very.
Right. But what I mean is, I think
gotta
it was
start
an inspiration.
Yeah,
It was
sure.
an inspiration because,
You got to start somewhere.
dude, that's what happened to. I think I told you, getting off the freeway on the 22. People were complaining on Nextdoor about this huge encampment, and it's gone because they went over and asked them, "Can we help you in any way? You need a place to be right now."
It's called harm reduction. We're pioneers in the field of harm reduction here, and I didn't understand it when they first built this shelter behind my house. Freaking 6 years ago, 5 years ago, something like that. But no, it was like 6 years ago, maybe more.
All the
But
veterans who seem like have a
I educated myself, and it's a good thing for the community, and it's a good thing for the people that live there. And
Oh, absolutely.
and one of my questions to the guy that runs the place, he's got like 4 or 5 different locations throughout the Twin Cities, and I asked him, do you guys drug test? Do you make sure that the people that live there are clean? And he's like, no, we don't do that. This is a harm reduction facility. And I was like, well, what's harm reduction? So and then I had to educate myself about harm reduction. And basically it means that, one thing at a time, let's take care of you not having a place to sleep first. And then maybe we'll take care of you not having food to eat and medical care. And then maybe we'll try counseling you on your drug use or whatever. But that's not going to be a deciding factor whether you can stay here or not.
Because they're homeless and because they're considered, I guess now, as long as you're a veteran, I don't think they even care because cannabis is legal here, alcohol is legal, cocaine and heroin are misdemeanors, but I don't think they care if you're high as long as you're not smoking it on your bunk. I think you should be fine. As far as crack or heroin, don't be smoking it on your bunk. But I think they can smoke weed and they can drink and they can commoditize in their newfound place. I think it's just that the Veterans Administration said, look, we have all these fucking old parts of hospitals that we're not using, or we have government facilities all over. Every city has abandoned fucking buildings that we can use, and they started taking them over and making them shelters for homeless people here.
Good.
But only if you're a veteran, though. That's the Veterans Administration helping you.
You got to start somewhere, and they serve their country, and now they're homeless.
Yeah,
and,
exactly. And they went and got
But
shot at.
yeah, in most cases.
Well, that should be part of the benefits. If you're no longer going to draft people and force them to do it, but you're going to instead say that, why don't you come join us and become all that you can be, and we'll make sure that your college is taken care of. We'll also make sure if you get fucked up that you will have.
It's kind of messed up that if you commit a crime, you're assured a warm place to sleep and 3 square meals, but if you don't, to the wind with you.
Yeah. Oh, you're just a guy who's...
I'm sorry I laugh about it, but it makes me so uncomfortable to be an American sometimes. And I don't mean that the way that sounded, but it makes me uncomfortable to own up to American values because our values, I think, are a little bit messed up. You shouldn't have homeless people. You shouldn't have such runaway drug prices. You shouldn't let pharmaceutical companies, write their own tickets, especially when you're funding them for the research.
Yeah.
How do you fund a company for research on a Pfizer drug and they come up with it and then they want to charge a 10,000% markup on the thing? It's just that's
Yeah, but,
ludicrous.
yeah. On a vaccine that you're supposed to be supplying to people to save us.
Well, I mean, if you want to
Everybody's
take the
always
needle,
greed has always got to be a part of everything.
The-
and nothing gets done.
the wifey asked me if I wanted the jab again.
This video.
She asked me if I wanted the booster because I guess they're doing boosters on Thursday next week, and so I can go and get it.
I don't need mine until January apparently because I got the one and done. They're like, you don't need it until we'll let you know when you need.
Well, if you got the Johnson and Johnson one,
yeah, I risked my life for people, so
you got the Johnson and Johnson one.
Yep.
Yeah, then they said that they recommend that your booster be an mRNA one.
An MR or an A1?
No, an mRNA. mRNA. That's the other one. It's like I think Johnson and Johnson used a little bit of the virus to give you immunity, but then the mRNA is like a different technology. I don't know that they used in the Moderna and the Pfizer, I guess. Moderna, Pfizer, and I don't know what the other one was.
Yeah.
I don't really care.
My wife got Moderna, my wife and my daughter and I are all having similar effects. It's almost like sometimes I feel like Polly may be getting COVID and fighting it, and getting COVID and fighting it. We don't even know.
Maybe.
We haven't gotten her vaccine yet. They just got it approved for her age group, and I guess we're gonna get it. But we've been experiencing leg cramps. We have never been so arthritic as we have been since we got our fucking shots. And only in the legs and hips and knees. I get them in my calves, in my hips. She gets it in her knee and her hip.
Well, I mean, if young people start reporting that, then maybe we'll be like, okay.
Do you want to know what helped?
I'm like in my 50s now, so I'm feeling you. Like I feel like achy in my hips or in my knees or whatever.
Well,
but
yeah, after you work out or after you do something, but this is like all the time, like every day.
Yeah,
it just in different levels.
Yeah.
But you know what helped was cleaning out my bowels. Taking laxatives and cleaning. Apparently, also a side effect of the virus, or maybe even of the vaccine, since it's giving you the virus, is IBS. Having irritable bowel syndrome, where your bowels don't even want to move what's in there. And you take a laxative and you end up like on the toilet all day for like 2 days straight.
It's all news to me. I wish they'd give you a rundown on like possible side effects when you go to get your vaccine. It'd probably take hours for them to get through like 100 people.
I'm assuming that like certain drugs.
It's up to you. Buyer beware.
Right?
What's the Latin phrase?
You might get a rash from it. You know what I mean? Or maybe you might.
Customer unus caputum.
Unus caputum. What's
that? I don't know the Latin phrase for buyer beware. I don't know what it is.
Oh, caveat emptor.
There you go, caveat emptor. Unus
yeah.
Unus patunum. Unus patunum.
I only know that because of Greg Brady. Buying that piece of junk car.
Caveat emptor.
Emptor.
Whatever. Empire.
Emptor with a T. Caveat emptor. EMPTOR.
Like
I don't even know what
empathetic tor. Emptor. Okay.
Yeah,
emptor.
You're emptor. You're like you're about to.
I'm just gonna Ricky it up, man.
I'm just gonna Ricky it up and say, hey, it's all water into the fridge, anyways.
Cantaloupe enter. When you do that cantaloupe enter. Cantaloupe sphincter.
I always eat a cantaloupe after, jalapeno chips.
Love those jalapenos.
Yeah, it helps you with the diuretics, But worst case Ontario, you end up on the toilet all day.
You know what's really funny is I was watching a TikTok of those guys the other day, and Julian's fat now and Ricky's skinny. Seriously, Ricky's skinny and Julian's fat. It's like they switch sheets.
Yeah, Julian discovered pasta and Ricky discovered fucking the gym.
I think more than anything, Julian just gained some weight, so he probably just makes.
Well, hopefully,
Ricky,
what's his name? Hopefully, Rob isn't cancerous like fucking.
No, it looks like he's been working out.
Yeah, that's probably it.
Take care of
He's a
himself
health
and
nut.
shit.
They need to do something else, and they need to utilize. They need to utilize the stupidity of the Trailer Park Boys as different characters now.
Are they still? I wonder if they're still doing SwearNet. Because I'm assuming that's what all this content is about that I'm seeing on TikTok, but excuse me, or they're shooting another season, or I don't know, or they're shooting a movie. Who knows? I don't know. I know that they try to make they do make a go of it with their live shows. They tour a lot.
Yeah.
And I guess they probably make a pretty good living doing that. But I don't know. I don't know what
We just
their
hit
live shows would be like.
38, my friend, and it's right about 44:40 right on the dot there. And
all right, and then we got a good news article we want to end with.
a good news article? Yeah, let me throw the good news up
Real
there,
quick. Let's do it real quick.
Right? We need some good news at all times. Let's see. Good News Network. Sounds like the Good News Bible one. Remember one of the first Bibles that ever had like a friend of mine had a Bible that had measurements translated for you, and it was amazing because a lot of people never get told that they actually at some point somebody measured Goliath's spear supposedly, right, according to the Bible, and they had measurements of it, and so all the cubits and all that they translated to be a 13-pound spearhead, like a fucking bowling ball. It was this big.
Yeah, that's
And
cool.
he had it, and the diameter of his spear was so big that no man of the time, because remember, in Jesus' time back then,
Where did I
people
see
were much
this? Was
smaller,
this on,
they
like-
couldn't pick it up.
Was this on Oak Island? Because I heard this.
No, I know,
like,
but it sounds like
I
right?
swear it was on Oak Island. All right, hey, let's do the good news on the next one.
All right.
On that note.
All
All
right.
right.
All right, I'll call you, and we'll talk to you later, man.
All right, bye.
Bye. Oh, okay.
And then just started again, and it looks like, yeah. Oh, wait. Yeah, what's going on? Okay, yeah, we're on. We're on again! On again, off again. Check it out. You're too stoned to have an idea. What?
What?
I have an idea.
You have an idea?
I'm not stoned enough.
It was there. It was there for a minute, but no, it's gone now, dude.
All right.
You should have had me when I had my idea. You should have let me speak, but no, it's gone now.
Yeah. Too bad. Don't ask me to. Like I told Carl the other night. Don't expect me to beg you. I wasn't that entertained to begin with. No, I'm just kidding. It was true because he was telling me a story that I had already heard about a friend of his that he met at a Freddie Mercury birthday party in Geneva, Switzerland. I don't know, somewhere in Switzerland, on Lake Geneva.
Have you talked to him since, though, since you got a little miffed?
Yeah, I think we're good. He let it roll off, but he was telling me this story about how she has an OnlyFans page, and then I was like,
That's
oh.
how he met her.
He probably met her at the show, like at the party or whatever.
No, I'm kidding.
Because there's Freddie Mercury. What's his guy's name? Miami Beach.
I guess I just assume everybody with a
Jim Beach, is that his name? James Beach, the manager of
Jim
Queen.
Beach.
Yeah,
Miami Beach.
Yeah, he's the guy who organizes this party every year, and Carl's met him a few times, and I think that's why he goes to these things, is so that he can meet, like, you know, the guitar tech for Brian May or whatever, you know. people that are like just 1 degree away from Freddie or Brian or whatever. So
That's cool.
he mentioned that she had an OnlyFans page, and then I was like, oh God, doesn't everybody?
Yeah, I'm sorry for saying that. It's no dispersion against Carl. Like, I think everybody masturbates. It's just that I just naturally assume when a pretty girl has an OnlyFans page that's what goes on.
Yeah, and he takes a lot
Give me
of
money. I masturbate.
His definition of friend is broad, which is great, you know. I don't tend to, like, if you're my friend on Facebook, we're probably not friends. I mean, like friendly, we're friendly, but like friends are like, you know, people like you or Randy or, you know, people that I see on a regular basis or speak with on a regular basis. You know, though, I suppose that's a gray area, though. Because there's people that I haven't talked to in a long time that I still consider friends, and we're friends on Facebook. But then there's people that I met one time, or I've never met, that I'm friends with, and I can't consider them friends. You know, I was friends with Katie way back in the day, but, you know, she has 5,000 friends on her stupid page. Do I consider, like, I don't know, like, is she still a friend? I don't talk to her, and honestly, she's too busy setting thirst traps to respond to anything that anybody ever says. So it's like, whatever.
Or be worshipped. She has to be worshipped by her followers.
Well, good luck with that. I mean,
yeah. She's always been like that. She's always been trying to be like the head of a gang.
That's cool.
She was like head of a gang for a while. I mean, we were in high school.
That slope's getting pretty slippery right now.
You know, 50, you got to quit being head of the gang. You
52, 53.
52. Oh, yeah, she's probably older than us, huh? I didn't think about that. She may be a year older than me. Either way, you know...
Yeah, she's still a good-looking lady, but... I mean, she always was, so I would imagine she'll make a good-looking old lady, but... that's not... I don't know. Maybe her taste in men and women are aging along with her. Hopefully. A lot of people don't. Like Carl. Like I love Carl, but he definitely has a young taste in women.
Until I die. Because if my wife, God forbid, if my wife dies before me, which is not allowed, I have to die first. Because I'm not living with that shit. But besides, my kid needs my wife worse than she needs me ever. But still, if... God forbid.
Who knows, dude?
I would be a prostisexual. I would be a prostisexual, man. I'd find another guy that's just like me, right? That was single, and we would live together. People would think we're gay, but we're like, no, we go get prostitutes together. That was Dr. Nays and Dr. Chang. Were fucking. They were bros, dude. They would go to Harbor Boulevard and get prostitutes. Then they would go gambling at the casinos together, and like. They had a bromance. It was fucking beautiful.
That's cool.
So that's how you retire, man. You find your bro, your road dog, you go road dogging.
Carl's asked us if we want to go to, like, he's like, I was thinking Vietnam. Maybe we could all move to Vietnam and retire. And I was like, oh, that might be cool. But
Nomland.
Well, it's inexpensive.
It's beautiful, dude.
It's beautiful. It's good food. It's nice people. You know, it's like Costa Rica, except for it's a lot farther away.
Yeah, well,
I'd feel more. I'd feel more comfortable living in Costa Rica.
The minute you voice an opinion, though, that's unpopular, you could be on the outside of the circle so quick with those people, and also with their government. So I would be wary about living there. I'd rather live in Thailand, maybe.
Oh, I don't know. I have what
I'd like to visit all of them.
I have what Carl would refer to as a friend, and I kid Carl. I kid.
Yeah.
But I've never met the guy, but I met him through Ken Hayes, that dude from San Francisco, who I consider friendly. I don't know. Friend. No, probably, Facebook friend, acquaintance. I've met him. We've hung out. I don't know a whole lot about him. I've heard lots of conflicting stories. But anyways, this guy lives in, actually, he just died. I think he had a heart attack. Anyways, he lived in Vietnam, and he was like a motorcycle guy and a weed dude. So, and he had a kind of like a storybook thing going on there, like beachfront house and, motorcycles, dirt bikes, because they ride a lot of dirt bikes on the road there because the roads are not great. So, but yeah, it looked like he had a pretty good life while he was there. Yeah.
I like places like that. Well, the roads aren't great there, but yeah, that's because if they pave a road there, it would just get washed out any fucking way. It's not. There's no way to stabilize the ground underneath it, so there's no point in fucking making it a permanent road. Right?
The roads, the like main roads in Costa Rica were pretty good, but once you get on the, for dirt roads, their dirt roads are actually pretty good because they, like I said, they pave them with.
They maintain with
molasses. Yeah.
That's groovy.
Yeah.
Well, I thought you were talking about like Vietnam. In Vietnam, the places that don't have roads, the reason.
That would be tough. I don't know. I've never been there, so I can't speak on it.
There's a place in China where they took on the
Carl has, I think.
It's on YouTube. You can watch
Laos,
it. I think it's on. It's going to be on History Channel.
Uh-huh.
Where I think it is History Channel where we saw it. This guy built a hotel in a quarry where they get an average of like 30 inches of rain a year. And he drains this quarry and races against time and builds this hotel so that you're like at land level and you go over to the hotel and it's got this 1-story entrance like area that looks like just really simple. And when you walk into it, you're into like this like stairwell and elevator system that takes you down into this gigantic 6-story hotel. The part of it goes down underwater.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and there's a giant. It's they use the natural water that fills up in there with rain to put fish in it and have an aquarium. It's really cool. I was like, wow.
I saw one where they had like a dive platform under the water, so like it's pressurized, and so the platform's actually under the water.
Yeah.
So all you need to do, like, you're in an aquarium. Basically, there's fish all around you, or water all around you. Depending on if there's fish around. And all you have to do is just jump into if you see a bunch of fish, a school come by or something that you want to go check out, all you got to do is just jump through the little hole. It's like kind of like a submarine. Like, you just come up and, because it's not, the air has nowhere to go because it's sealed. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. So the water doesn't come pouring in.
Well, because this is in a quarry and isn't on the ocean and has no tides or waves beating against it, there's like an entire floor of these gigantic buildings that are down in the aquarium part of it. So it's like most of the bottom floor is all aquarium to one side of it. But like they have, very scarily, they have fucking bedrooms underneath the water out in the ocean in places like Tahiti. And I'm like, I know, but what if there's an earthquake? What if there's heavy, surf and shit? What if there's a hurricane?
Most of those those hotels that are on the water, there's pretty calm in bays and shit. But did you ever check out the good news? Did we find a good news article that we wanted to
I had a good news
chit chat about?
Let's see what we got in good news. The good news is, first wind turbine designed to harness typhoon energy erected in storm-prone Asia. Yeah, that's another thing about Vietnam is the amount of rain and the gnarly storms that they get. That's why I was saying they probably don't fuck with their roads and country roads because they just get washed away or get put underwater anyway. Marathon runner stopped by lupus is racing again thanks to amazing treatment for autoimmune disorder. That's
cool.
That's good news. That's very cool. Architecture built 1,000 years ago to catch rain is being revived to save India's parched villages.
That's bitchin'.
Yeah. Dude, I don't know if you know this, but there's in a part of the desert that's incredibly arid in the Middle East, in a place that's close to where they believe They believe that Babylon or Shangri-La or whatever was it Shangri-La or Babylon? Yeah, Babylon's the Hanging Garden. Shangri-La was the place that had all the rivers going through it. Yeah, it was that place. And they believe that some of the technology left over from this lost city is that the stone that they have in the middle of this village that catches moisture out of the air and turns it into water and gives you cool water to drink in the middle of the desert. And
It would have to be. It would have to be working. That would make the air even more dry. Oh my god!
Maybe
It would be working like a dehumidifier.
it catches the moisture in the air, maybe from all the people breathing and shit in the marketplace. Who knows?
Well, I'm sure that there's some moisture in the air. There's always a little bit of moisture in the air.
Yeah.
Can you imagine 0%? Well, like in the wintertime, like when it's super cold, yeah, I don't think there's any moisture in the air. Like this in the Antarctica when it's like minus 50 or something outside, I doubt that there's no moisture in the air. You can throw water in the air and it vaporizes. Psh, it's just gone. Crystallizes. It works best with hot water. I also like blowing bubbles in the cold.
Eliminates the need for diabetics to prick their skin for blood. That's
What's
awesome.
that?
It's a sweat collecting patch inspired by a cactus. Eliminates need for diabetics to have to prick their skin for blood. That's pretty
That's cool.
See what else? Teacher shares a brilliant Band-Aid lesson to teach kids about fairness, and it goes viral. I don't have time to watch that, but that sounds cool. Dwayne Rock Johnson gives $30,000 to a $30,000 truck to a guy who took him in when The Rock was a homeless teenager. That's awesome. Oldest woman to climb El Capitan, 70 years old. Right on. That's
wow.
A trip. I know somebody who's
Yosemite, eh?
Yeah, Yosemite, El Capitan.
That is a sheer sheet of freaking granite, man. That is an awesome thing to lay your eyes on. And then when you realize that those little dots
are people
climbing the thing here, like what? Are they nuts? Well, that's a dumb question. Of course they are.
Somebody got there. Was it David Lee Roth? They got his picture hanging off of a certain rock that, like, he got into somebody, or Sammy Hagar. Maybe it was Sammy Hagar. They got so into rock climbing that that their record company was freaking out.
That was probably David Lee Roth. Because I think I read a Parade magazine article where they went to like Chile where he was mountain climbing.
Yeah, he climbed up to a face that came to a rock sticking out like that, and he climbed underneath the rock and hung off the tip of that rock and climbed up on it. And I was like, ooh, that's pretty badass. You have to have a lot of upper body strength. Give me 1 second. I'm going to let the doggums out. 1 second. All right. Get out.
I had a
Look at the shirt, by the way, brother.
Oh, thank you. I earned this one. Fuck, I wound up in the hospital the next day.
I earned this one. We held it.
Yeah.
People were trying to take our. We stood in the middle of a mosh pit and held it because
Iron Maiden.
Yeah, they were circling around us and they were trying to attack us. The only people that could attack us were people that could get up high enough to us because we're on the grass.
I'd be like, you fucking idiot! We're at an Iron Maiden concert. Go to your fucking Slayer concert if you want to mosh.
No. It was cool. There was other bands there. There were other bands besides Iron Maiden, but dude, we were on an incline. It was stupid. They kept running up to us, and I just kept pushing them down super easy. I'm like, you have no idea how physics works at all. This is fucking.
Oh, and Irvine Meadows.
Yeah, but then
up in the general.
Yeah, but then there were people that would.
That's a pretty steep deal.
Climb the fucking grass and dive bomb us, and somebody say, "Here comes one," and we'd all spin around and just take the guy coming at us and catch him, and then he would join us. And they would become part of our fucking chain. And people start saying, "Oh my god, that's cool."
Listen, Irvine Meadows is a great place to see.
Yeah, we became the death wall. And you could either make it through the death wall. If you could make it through us, then you were able to keep moshing. But if you came up from the bottom and tried to fuck with us, you could just be shoved down immediately. It was fun.
Wasn't Irvine Meadows?
A lot of people, like a lot of generations of people having a blast at that. And see, nobody got killed. and nobody got killed. I just got
Am I on?
put that out right
Can
now.
you hear me?
Nobody got fucking hurt.
Oh, you can't hear me.
Well, people probably got hurt.
That's fucking
but
hilarious.
There's nothing a couple beers couldn't cure.
I wonder how long I've been on mute. That's hilarious.
Wow.
I'm cracking up right now because like the whole time I'm trying to get a word in, and I'm like, God, Irvine Meadows was a great place to. And you just kept talking, and I was like, are you fucking serious? You're just gonna act like you don't hear me?
Thank you, mute button. He couldn't interrupt me.
But Irvine Meadows was a fucking great place. You had plenty of natural endings to that story, dude. But Irvine Meadows was a great place to see a concert.
It was an absolute great place to see a concert. What was funny is the night that I learned how to sneak in there properly, I made it in. But some other idiot was trapped by a white rhino in a fucking tree, or a black rhino. I think that was white rhinos or ones that were going. Whichever one that wasn't extinct had him trapped in a tree, and he was screaming at the top of his lungs, but no one could hear him because there was a concert going on.
Yeah,
so he stayed there till almost 6 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, because after the concert was over, all the fucking security, everybody kind of filters out with the crowd. And so there was nobody left.
Hey Siri, when did Lion Country
the
Safari in Irvine
and all the rock stars had gotten
close?
onto their tour buses and took it off a long time ago. So there was nobody there, and the dude was every time he screamed, apparently it alerted.
Hey Siri, when did Lion Country Safari in Irvine close?
And he'd shut the fuck up and be like, "Oh God."
One possibility I see is Irvine Center
So
and Lion Country stuff.
that was a great story.
Hey Siri, when did the Lion Country Safari in Irvine close?
Bob, are you on mute again?
Yeah, I was, because I was trying to. Hey Siri, when did Lion Country Safari in Irvine close?
One option I found
Yeah,
is
see.
Irvine Center and Lion Country.
Hey Siri, Lion Country Safari in Irvine.
One
I think
option I see is
84.
Irvine Center.
What?
I think it was 84. The concert I'm talking about was 1983 or 82. And there were still animals there. I don't know if it had closed yet, but there were definitely still animals there. Shit, I could smell. I jumped over a river full of their excrement and whatever to get into where I had to go through. I mean, it stank like fucking animal piss. You know, like barnyard. Lots of zebras and gazelles. and all
When
that
did
shit.
Lion Country Safari close its doors?
In Irvine, because you remember there's one in... It may be confusing because there's one that's still open in Florida.
Yeah, 1984.
1984? Yeah, that makes sense.
They were in business for 14 years, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a trip. That Lion Country Safari was definitely a trip.
Yeah, my cousin, God rest him, threw a rock over a fence as we were going into Knott's Berry Farm. I had no idea what was there for some reason because I'd never been to it at the time. But there was a reptile place there, and my cousin had thrown a rock over the fence. It landed in a pool of alligators while the guy was doing a show. And he jumped up on the fence and was screaming at us. The guy had one eye. He's missing one eye because he has a patch over it where it got torn out. And he had a fucking one of those Australian-style hats. And he's screaming at us and shit to quit fucking around and calling us little bastards and shit. It was funny. Then I read in the newspaper how badass that guy was. He got bit by a taipan trying to separate two of them that were fighting. And a taipan's an incredibly venomous snake. And he spent a week in an iron lung before he could blink his eyes on his own. Talk about horror. That would be horrible. Yeah. For a fucking week, he could not move a muscle. He was just in fucking... He could finally blink his eyes. Oh, yeah. That guy was way badass. He had a pet crocodile that was like 15 feet that he took pictures with all the time for the Orange County Register. It was right next door to Knott's Berry Farm for years.
Yeah, I remember that. Alligator Place or whatever.
Yeah, I think it was your mom that took us there.
There was, I don't know, probably. There was parking overspill, I remember, for Knott's Berry Farm back in the day when they used to just have like this one-lane drive, and then they'd have little parking lots off of that.
That's where we parked that day when Matt threw the rock over the fence. It was in the back of the alligator farm. It's still there. That one little area is kind of.
I remember going to Knott's Berry Farm just to fucking eat chicken and watch people. Because they used to have an outdoor dining area, and my grandma used to like to get Knott's chicken and just sit out and watch people. That's where Robert Blake hit her with a cast. He was in some kind of cast because he broke his arm. Whatever kind of cast they have, like when you have to have your arm out.
Watch out, that guy's a lady killer.
Might have been his shoulder, yeah, right? Might have been a shoulder blade or something like that. But anyways, he whacked her in the head with it, and he was like super apologetic to her or whatever, I guess, and that was her brush with fame, I guess. She probably had other brushes with fame. Brushes with fame.
Brushes. I could go on and on with how many famous people I've met throughout life here in California. I mean, and my dad too. My dad put the glass in John Wayne's home, in Michael Jackson's homes. Well, he met all kinds of famous people, dude. Plus, he was a swinger. I found he was a swinger, so he was really popular.
Remember that old lady that lived at the back of the park next to God. Back where Denise Landeck lived, back where the back gate was, she lived right next door to the back gate.
Sorry, I got pulled out. One. Give me 1 second, please. 1 second. You dickhead. Thanks, fucking dog. Sorry. Got my ears pulled out here and I can't hear you. Give me 1 second. Aw. I do not have a mute button. So you were saying?
I was saying that she lived right next door, right next to the back gate.
The one that Ronnie.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I don't know that he slept with her. I don't know that he slept with her or not.
No. I was there and I helped Mindy up onto the fence and I climbed up with her. He was getting a blowjob from her while Mindy caught him. Mindy beat the living piss out of him too, and we all laughed. It's fucking great because Jay and all the guys were there, and he was like gonna hit her back, and everybody's looking at him like, "Don't even think about it, dude. You're taking this ass whipping."
Well, I remember was she was a customer rep or like a PR person for Max Factor makeup. So she had pictures of herself with John Wayne, Rock Hudson. I mean, I guess she said she dated Rock Hudson for a while. I guess we know now that was just a cover. He wanted to be seen out in public with women, so he probably just, would just ask random women to accompany him to dinner or whatever. But nonetheless, being a PR person for Max Factor, which was primarily a Hollywood. It started in Hollywood as like a like on-screen makeup. But that car that she owned, I really wanted to buy that car. She only wanted $1,500 for it, man. That was fucking beautiful. It was oh my god! It was a Thunderbird, and the steering wheel folded into the dashboard. The white leather seats. They were bench seats, and the front one.
So it was one of the first models.
The back of the front seat.
57?
I think so. The back of the front seat folded down and made at least a queen size bed in there.
I always liked Schmitty's Thunderbird.
It was
right down the street.
Yeah, Schmitty's was way more sporty. There's no place to get it on in there. There's no back seat at all.
No, I know it's not like the original Thunderbirds are big.
Yeah, this one that she had was like a 490 or something. It was a gigantic motor, dude. You could barely step on the pedal before that little peg leg wheel would burn rubber. I actually drove it a couple of times to do, I don't know, run errands or something.
Yeah, somebody got that Plymouth Fury 3 from me that John gave me. It got towed, and my mom would give me the money, and I didn't have the money. I'm like, fucking, it was just given to me, so I let that car go, but it got 8 miles to the gallon. I couldn't afford to drive it, but it was awesome. I took it, I got the money together, and I took somebody, I don't know who it was, I took to the movies in it, but we were just impressed that we could just totally, I'm like, we could make out, but
I used to drive that thing, too. I drove that thing a few times. It must have been like a community type thing.
Yeah, because I had it for free, and I already had that. I had the Mustang, and I already had that, or I had I'm sorry, I had my Camaro, and I had that car given to me, and I gave it to you and a couple people a couple of times. You're like, "Let me borrow it." I'm like, "Sure," but you know, here's the keys, but 8 miles to the gallon, bro. that fucking broke everybody's pockets. But yeah, we used to drive. I know it was you and I and a few people, and I was with a girl, and we just kept commenting how we could have fucking really made out really well in this car if we didn't have all these fucking people with us. But it was somebody I was dating at the time, but I think it was Carolyn. But we were able to fit like God. Pack in 4 people in the front and 4 people in the back, and they can only charge you for a carload. And it's like,
not even talking about that trunk was fucking the best place in the world. You could fit 6 people in the trunk.
Yeah, I know. That was a beautiful car, dude. It just sucked gas. That 383 would.
I remember when he left, he was like, he opened the trunk and spray painted his name on the inside of the trunk.
Cho. CHOE. Cho. John Cho. I forgot his last name now.
It was fun times. Fun times. The cars we had. That Rally Sport was a fucking cool car. I don't know if this is too loud. You know.
No, I'm thinking. You know,
no, I mean the music.
Never go back to the past because there ain't nobody there.
I'm just thinking about the music maybe being a little bit too loud with the.
Mine? Here. Is that better?
I don't know, sir.
There we go. That can't be too loud.
I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it's fine.
Ah. Home on Facebook. That's even better. I found Marijuana Moment on Facebook. So.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Sign up. I'll like it, but what's that?
So winter is kind of here. Supposedly it snowed last night, but I didn't see any. I seen some like sleet.
Yeah,
I seen a little bit of.
That lives,
never mind.
I'll have to ask. Well, no, I was just gonna say yes. I agree with you. Yes, a friend of mine that lives out in the country showed a picture of the first snow in Minnesota.
That's cool. Good on.
I could find out where Pamela is. I think she lives. I think you already told me she lives somewhere north of you.
Mm-hmm. I don't know where she lives. Who's Pam?
Pam Godwin. She's actually a friend of mine from through Alex and Eddie and the Viking Fest. She, her and her husband, they do all those, like Ren Fair and all that kind of stuff. They like the cosplay stuff. And she's she's an
pretty
awesome,
good chance I've met her. Though.
Dude, she's an awesome looking like heavy metal Viking witch. You got to see. Yeah, you'll dig if you look at if you go on my friend's page and look her up and
do you know where she's from? What's her hometown? What does she have that listed as?
Let's see here. Let's see. I'll open this Facebook so I know where to find it.
I was laughing because I watched The Simpsons this weekend, and The Simpsons this weekend, Ned gets together with this lady who's from Pine City, Minnesota, and they hit it off and everything, right? Because she's just you betcha, and she's like just the perfect Midwest mom and everything, and. So Ned's all into her and shit. They're making out. They're getting hot and heavy on the couch.
Diddly diddly.
And then fucking her husband walks in and he's like, "Oh, don't mind me. I'm just getting some something to drink." And fucking Ned's like, "Oh shit, a cuckold."
Yeah.
He's like, "No, honey. Me and my husband have an understanding. I get to get what I get to get what I want, and he gets to try."
So they used to
God bless him.
They used to do the Viking Fest, the Ren Fair, and all that in Temecula. Well, they were from Temecula, and the Viking Fest is in Temecula, basically, or just outside of it.
No.
It's considered Vista Temecula on the border of it. It's right there by the 15. It's great big property. Just have these. Just everybody goes full on in Viking gear. I think you've seen it. I had to run. I ran the. I helped run the archery range,
Right on.
or did part of my work is working on the archery range with the little kids, teaching them how to shoot. So now they live in Morris. So where's Morris?
Oh, Morris, Minnesota.
Yeah.
Here.
Sorry.
Hey Siri, show me Morris, Minnesota.
Okay, here's Morris.
There's Morris. Show me the map.
Yep. Where is it?
Let me see where it is in relation to me.
There we go. This video of her house this morning. Her and her dog.
Oh, it looks like it's due east of St. Cloud. So, yeah, it's greater Minnesota. So that's probably an hour and a half away from me. Maybe
Can you
two.
see it? Can you see the video I'm showing you?
Yeah. Yeah, it snowed. I think it probably, there was snow on the ground in St. Cloud, but
Probably.
St. Cloud
How
is
often does
St.
it-
Cloud is the
does it
halfway
start to stay?
point between me and her. So she's probably an hour and a half away.
Nice.
Just right up 95, it looks like.
Well, it's Pam Godwin, Goodwin Stevenson. Stevenson's her married name, but yeah,
The population of Morris is
their house is so
probably
cool.
pretty small.
It's very, I don't know, cottagey looking. It totally suits them.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
sure she picked it out specifically. You know, she's a Viking witch warrior type.
There's a
person.
lot of
Yeah.
early 1900s houses here. You know, we were settled pretty heavily in the 1900s.
Yeah,
So
a lot of nice houses there.
a lot of
I
people-
enjoyed being there.
I'm sure a lot of people got to Minnesota and were like, "Fuck! If it's this cold here, imagine how cold it's going to be towards farther west. Fuck, we better stop here." No, Minnesota was a great place for people to stop when they came through in the summertime. And they were like, "Look at this dirt! Holy shit!"
Yeah, we were like, this is gold right here. And maybe you know what was really odd is, do you think maybe the guys who went up and over the high Sierras are like, yeah, fuck those guys in Minnesota, man. Fucking, it's too cold there. Let's head west to California. Hey, look, a mountain. All we have to do is get over it.
Mhm. Well, I'm sure the Rockies have their fair share of stories. Getting over the Rockies was probably no picnic.
Yeah, but they were able to. I'm sure they were able to bypass a lot of it. You know what I mean? Like try and get around it, but you still would end up in what? Like
I suppose I don't know.
but you also end up in the Black Hills if you don't. I forgot how they made it.
Doesn't the range go all the way? I mean, the Continental Divide goes right through the continent. I don't know that. I think, like right there in Idaho Springs and Loveland, that's Pikes Peak, or not Pikes Peak, but the Vail Pass right there that's pretty rugged, pretty high. That wouldn't be where you'd. I don't know. Maybe that's where you would actually naturally. It seems like a natural valley right there. Until you get to the tunnel. And then it's an unnatural hole right through the damn mountain.
Wow.
I know, huh? It's amazing.
No, I was just reading something. The peak ranged from 5,000 to more than 9,000 feet, and they thought that it's not even so much as how high they are.
Colorado's got several 14ers, man.
Oh, I know, but the Sierras are just like a set of mountains that are literally just a big giant spine that was slammed together by a gigantic earthquake, and they're just like a big giant. It's the verticalness of them. You just like ascend and ascend and ascend, and boom, you're up there at like 5,000 feet. You're just up there, and then it's flat, and it's a trip up there. It is so quiet, and there's like no life up there. It seems like they said even in the summer you don't see a lot of animals in the park, but they're going through the park, not staying.
How long have you been on this time?
Oh, I don't know. Let's see. From me to you, 36 minutes.
Huh, there you go. It's not too bad.
But yeah, I was tripping about how high. Yeah, their highest speed is, I guess, 9,000 feet. That's pretty tall. That's the highest in
Well, I mean, when you're talking about mountain ranges, it's not really that tall. But
No, that's the highest peak
Yeah.
of the Sierra Nevadas. Yeah, but all those storms, it's like it's just right.
it
there
definitely
in the
gets a
storm
lot of snow. It definitely gets a lot of
Yeah.
snow. There's no doubt about it. But like that tunnel that I was talking about is at, well, that's probably at 9,000 or 8,000, something like that, 8,000 feet.
What?
But Richie lived at 10,000 feet when he lived up in Netherland. Netherland is like 9,500, 10,000 feet.
Oh, I saw a place, and I don't know if it's in the United States or not. Somebody said it might be Hole in the Wall at Mammoth, but I don't. Yeah, how big is Hole in the Wall? Have you ever been? You've skied Mammoth, right?
Yeah, many times, yeah.
Is it a big giant ice cave that you can ski through? Or is it just a hole?
No, hole in the wall might refer to the chute. Like there's a chute that's just like, I don't know, maybe there is an actual hole in the wall. I don't know, but like
I
when
think
I
it's
hear
something-
hole in the wall, I'm thinking of a chute that goes, from, and chutes are fucking really hard to ski because it's like a half pipe kind of thing,
Okay, so
and,
no,
and
this
keeping
is
an
bad.
edge, keeping a lower
Yeah.
edge,
And the
it's
other people
hard.
were correct. The other people on the thread were correct. It was Switzerland, and it was awesome. So this guy goes skiing up to this opening of a cave and goes skiing into it, and it's a big, gigantic ice cave, and it's all open and flat, and all you have to do is just ski back and
That's
forth
cool.
like that, and you stay right in the middle. And people were fucking criticizing his skiing. I'm like, you realize he's probably shooting this with a fucking cell phone, and you're criticizing him for fucking. He's probably holding a stick, you know what I mean, with the cell phone on the end, and you're criticizing how he's skiing. I'm like, yeah, I mean, it's not like he has a drone following him through this fucking thing. He's filming it, and they're criticizing how well he's skiing. I'm like, fuck, he skied well enough to shoot the video. I mean, I wasn't like paying attention to that. All I could fucking see is, wow, look at this giant ice cave you get to ski through, and it curves off to the side a little bit, so it's like a, like a little pathway, and again, it comes out to another side of the mountain, and you continue on to another run that way. It's cool. It connects two runs. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. I still want to do that.
Another reason those chutes are hard to ski is because if somebody falls down,
Yeah.
there's
You get hit.
nowhere for anybody behind them to
Else
go.
to go. Yeah.
Just like the Rose Bowl in the Who.
Yeah.
It all comes full circle, right, man?
Yeah.
Our conversations tend to. So it's a good place to leave it off too, I think.
Yeah, that's a good place. All right, man. You want me to do one more? I was gonna go and enjoy some of this outdoor weather.
Go ahead and enjoy your weather. I got, like I said, I gotta clean and make this house Thanksgiving.
Well, I meant take it
friendly.
with me outside to do one more shoot, but that's fine. If you got shit to do, we're good.
Yeah. Okay. We'll hit it up on. We're doing like 2 or 3 days lately, so it's fine.
Yeah, two's good.
Yeah. Okay.
All right,
Cool.
man. I'll talk to you Monday.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.